Today I'd like to show you what casual comment and casual social media activism to contribute to white well-being looks like. The goal, of course, is to spread the lexicon of going free to as many people as we can so it will mimetically spread across the internet and to as many people in the West as possible. Today, this morning, I made a simple comment underneath this Tim Pool video, which was entitled BLM Leftists Target Residential Area All Day. Feds are back in Portland after ICE facility attack. Now, I make a simple comment as such. The anti-white narrative is in full swing now. We must break the shackles of white guilt. Short, concise, on point, and is somewhat connected to the title of the video. Now, this, if you sort by top comments, is still in the top 10 comments today, even though the video's been out for more than an hour, and we already have 47 replies. And I'd like to walk through these replies and show you exactly what I mean about how to use this method of communication to create a good conversation, and what things I like and what things I don't like about comments. Let's scroll down and take a closer look. We notice that I thumbs down the first one. We must send them back to Africa. This is a negative comment. This is a hurtful, bad comment that leads to a dark place. You want to downvote comments like this or ignore them completely. People that want forcible racial separation, they're dangerous. They're unethical. This is either some kind of 4chan troll or young kid being edgy or someone who really does want ugly things. This is the kind of comment that I don't engage with at all, and I thumbs it down. The next one, the anti-white narrative was pushed in schools and media in order for this to happen so communists can take over. In general, excellent comment. I thumbs up this comment. This is the kind of talk that we want to see happen when I start a big comment like this. We want to see people jumping in, using our lexicon, talking about what happens and who may or may not be behind it. This is an excellent way to open up conversation. Then, of course, you have some jackass talking the standard anti-white talking points. Then this person says, I'd say their daily visits are making a lot of people feel a lot less guilty for just existing. That's very true. That's a good comment. This person is directly addressing how the activity of the anti-whites, riling up the non-whites, making them do anti-white things in the anti-white narrative, is really doing great works towards making regular Western kind notice the effects of the anti-white narrative, specifically because of white guilt. Good comment. Here we have a person saying lock and load. Let's give them something to cry about. This is a terrible comment. This kind of thing will only lead to your death, your imprisonment, and the loss of your family and the loss of your rights. We don't want to encourage this kind of thing because not only is rampant violence bad and usually only leads to even worse violence and disarray, it's also encouraging frustrated young white men to throw their lives away for something stupid that won't do anything other than fuel the anti-white narrative. Moving on. I thumbs this up. Hey, it's been in full swing for years now, hasn't it? Talking about the anti-white narrative. This is good. Moving on. Let's see. American patriots. I know many wonderful American patriots that are black. Now, I accidentally thumbs this down. I did not mean to thumbs this down. This is a neutral comment that I didn't want to address because, yes, there are American patriots who are black. That's fine. Like we talk about, the alignment to Western kind, that archetype does not require one to be a particular race. So this is a neutral comment that I don't want to address because I want to keep the conversation on point. Let's see, here's another comment that I like. This person says, it's not race baiting if a white kid is killed and the MSM, that's mainstream media, doesn't say anything. And this person says they are saying this as an Asian. This is a good comment. This puts the blame of the anti-white narrative on one of the primary pillars of the anti-white narrative, which is mainstream news. It's a good comment. This person I thumbs down because they said that white guilt is only on the liberal side. Not only do we know that the left-right paradigm of politics is part of the smoke and mirrors show of the anti-white narrative, but white guilt is within all of us who are white. It's been instilled within us since probably before even our parents were born. Scrolling down more, there's some more talk by either trolls or people that are just being cantankerous. I liked this comment because they likened back to some negative things and said it's true if applied to BLM, and they're talking about race baiting and using ugly tactics. And so I liked that comment. That was good. This person, also, we need to thumbs down. This person, while funny, this is haha funny, ask your granddad how to deal with commies. That kind of thing always makes me laugh. But this kind of rhetoric, it only makes people want to take up arms and start shooting people in their own country. This is bad, this is negative, and again, like the man from earlier who is more serious, will only lead to our people getting hurt and imprisoned. We don't want this kind of rhetoric. And of course, I like Yuri Bezmenov. He said you can't convince the left of anything. You could put anti-whites in here. You can't really convince rabid anti-whites of anything. But the second part of his comment was good. White guilt, or leftism, which is a primary type of anti-whiteism, is the main moral compass that they can't go against. That's very true to point this out, because when you're operating under the purview of the anti-white narrative, you're being led by the collar, the shackles, the onus of white guilt, and they can make you do things. So that's a good comment. Here's another good comment. This person says they've seen the anti-white narrative for a while, and they go on to talk about how it's been ramping up. Now this person says it's coming. This could mean something neutral or positive. It doesn't necessarily have to mean something violent or negative, but still be careful with this kind of talk. Don't get baited into supporting something that means violence. Okay. Here's another comment that I liked, pointing out that most of the anti-white stuff is BS. That's excellent. Now, this person says that you can't send me back to a place I've never lived. Now, this person is black. I know this person from other comments, and I would like to scroll down and show you my response to this person's comment. My first response is, most of the worst anti-whites are white. There are plenty of non-whites who love the West and contribute to white well-being. While I speak about things that are anti-white, it does not mean anyone non-white is bad. It means those who are specifically contributing to anti-whiteism are the villains. This is where we want to guide the conversation. This is the kind of talk we want to make people understand. This is me responding to the black person. I say, when the black person talked about you can't send me back to a country I've never lived, I say, correct. Whites should not act as if every non-white is actively anti-white. That is unethical. Every person can contribute to white well-being and can align to the archetype of the Western kind, the Europeans. It is foolish to act as if creating a white-only ethno-state is even possible, let alone ethical. We should focus on ethnocentrism, socially and politically, enforcing a single way of life, which is, of course, our way, the way of Western kind, in that non-whites can support us and therefore do not and should not be forcibly removed or punished simply due to the color of their skin. This is very important to let people know. This is also not a magic show. This is not a trick. I mean this. Jason Kuna means this. Race is an important part of what builds a social connectivity between people, a community, a government. A single race and a single ethnicity creates a nation. But that doesn't mean that it has to remain completely pure for whatever that thing is to remain functional and good. You just have to enforce socially and politically everyone in the area aligned to the archetype. This is the failure of CivNats because they do not believe in this enforcement. I do. That is why it's important that we talk about the social encouragement and political enforcement of aligning to the single way of life of Western kind. And then finally, this is in response to someone saying anti-white racism. So this is what I say in response to anti-white racism on a comment thread like this. It is important that we just say anti-white or anti-whiteism. Racist and racism, and it's important you put these in quotation marks to show that they are not being used correctly. are terms that have always and will always be used against Europeans because they mean white people oppressor, white people bad. We should totally eschew them. We should use anti-white and anti-whiteism just like we would use anti-Semite and anti-Semitism. Now, as you can see, it's only been an hour, and my comment is still in the top 10 here. It is actually number 6 in popularity, and it is the number 1 comment in engagement so far. So there we have it. That is how you easily create a thread of engagement by creating a short, concise, easy to understand comment as soon as a popular content creator's video goes up, who will have people that care about politics and the situation that we're in paying attention. And then as soon as the conversation takes off, you and others hopefully will start pushing the exact kind of lexicon that we want people to talk about, and whether or not we change the minds of anyone who will troll or argue with us, we have already today, the video only being out a little over an hour, hundreds of people seeing this because only about 1 out of 20 people chooses to react to a comment. So let's say that this is 200 instead of 178. That means 4,000 people have scrolled by and seen this and chosen to leave a like on this. So that means that thousands of people today have already seen me say, the anti-white narrative is in full swing now, we must break the shackles of white guilt. That's thousands of people seeing this today, and hundreds of people choosing to read the comments, and 20 individual users deciding to leave comments. This is how we can do at-home activism, and if you must remain anonymous to keep your job, or if you're a stay-at-home dad or mom and want to contribute to activism for white well-being, this is a great way that you can do it. You pick popular content creators that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You get used to the times when they post videos that will get hundreds of thousands of views, and you post simple comments like this one as soon as the video goes up. That is the way that we start getting this lexicon in front of thousands and thousands of people every day. And now we've come to the end. If I can do it, you can do it.